There's other times where I feel like if I'm just being honest, like I feel like I'm just going through the motions sometimes. My wife and I right now are in marriage counseling. I'm always wondering and questioning, how do I do this thing? How do I become a good dad? How do I make sure that I'm present? And I would just ask you to prayerfully reconsider if you're one of those people that leave negative comments about why are you charging for the gospel? Why are you charging money for the gospel? But as it relates to YouTube, I have my days. If I'm being honest, I have my days where I wonder how much longer I'm going to be on YouTube. I have my days where I say I don't even want to be on YouTube anymore. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is going to be a very, very different video than the ones I normally do that are very, very instructional and biblical. I want to just kind of open up to you guys and just kind of let you know what's going on in my life. I want to be a little bit more transparent. Sometimes you can assume that when you see me cranking out videos every single week, every Tuesday, that I'm just some sort of content creation machine. I'm just cranking out videos. And I'm always on fire for the Lord and everything is perfect in my life. Marriage is perfect. Fatherhood is perfect. But what I want to do in this video is kind of want to bring you in on how I'm really doing behind the scenes. Like, you might see one thing on social media, you might see one thing on YouTube, but I just want to kind of bring you in on where I'm at in a variety of issues, in a variety of areas that would be spiritually, that would be physically, that would be family, financially, and last but not least, ministry. How I'm doing ministry-wise with regards to this whole YouTube journey and everything. I want to fill you in on kind of where I'm at, my headspace, and kind of whatnot, so that you'll know maybe how to pray for me, how to support me, and maybe it's also an encouragement for you as well. So, let me jump in, and this is going to be one of those raw, uncut videos. So I might be looking over here. I've got a couple things I wrote down, but let's start with, let's start with spiritually, right? That's an interesting one because, for the last 5 years, I've been reading through the Bible in 1 year. I've been doing my daily audio Bible. Absolutely love it. I go on walks every morning, and I listen to the daily audio Bible, listen to my worship. And so in one regard, I feel like I'm doing really well, strong in that area. But then there's other times where I feel like if I'm just being honest, like I feel like I'm just going through the motions sometimes, because I feel like at the end of the day, I checked off the box that I read my Bible. I'm a good Christian. I read my Bible today. I'm caught up on my daily audio Bible. I read it every day. But I feel like a lot of days I'm just going wide, but not deep in the word as much as I should. And man, this is embarrassing, but I'm just being honest with you. Sometimes I feel like, man, I go deep to get my beat videos prepared for you guys. And I study and make sure that I'm all ready for that. But do I go to that same level of depth if it's just me and the Lord? I'm not presenting or I'm not preparing anything so that I can be prepared for you. It's just me getting into the word, digging deep into it. I do it sometimes, but not as often as I would like. And if I'm honest, sometimes I'm listening to my daily audio Bible. Sometimes I'm in my car. Sometimes I'm distracted. Sometimes I let my phone distract me from listening to it. And as a result, sometimes it's just an activity where I'm like, man, I checked it off. I got through it that day. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I mean, every day you're not going to have these light bulb moments, these aha moments, these encounters with God that you're like, oh man, I came out of the presence of God and my face is still shining with the Shekinah glory coming down from the mountain. You're not going to have those experiences all the time. But, I would say that, I should be able to, what am I trying to say? I want to say that I would like to go deeper more frequently in my Bible study than I have. And that would be an encouragement to some of you, specifically my pastor friends out there. Make sure that you're not just, spending time with God for the people, but you're spending time with God for yourself. Now, another area that I would say I'm kind of struggling is prayer. I just continue to struggle in that area, not really carving out specific intentional time for that. As it relates to like strongholds or temptation in my life, I feel like I'm doing really well in that area. I'm not perfect, but I feel like, man, starting every day in the Word and getting God's Spirit, just that presence of the Lord every single day, and starting my day with worship and just a little bit of prayer as I'm walking. It really sets my mind in the right space and allows me to truly have the right mindset. And I've noticed since I've done that, my temptations have been few and far in between. So that's how I'm doing as it relates to spiritually. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, physically, this will be a quick one. Man, praise the Lord. I feel like I'm doing great in this particular area. I feel like I'm in probably one of the best shapes of my life, if I'm being honest, with the exception of kind of getting old. I'm 48 years old. Sometimes I got, like pain in my thumb, pain in my index finger, pain in my back, pain in my knees. That's joint pain. That's getting old pain, right? Older pain, should I say. But man, like I lost weight a couple years ago. You guys know that. I'm walking almost every day for about an hour. So I'm burning calories. When I go play golf, I walk typically so I can burn calories. I'm playing pickleball, playing racquetball, lifting weights. I got my tonal over here that I use on a consistent basis to strength train and do resistance training. So in this particular area, I try to make good choices with what I eat. Try most of the time, high protein diet. So in this area, I'm not gonna spend much more time. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. All right, now let's move on to some of the harder ones. Family. Oh man. So, my wife and I right now are in marriage counseling. Now, some of you're like shocked because you're like, whoa, Brother Allen's in marriage counseling. Are they struggling with an issue in their marriage? Are they headed for divorce? No. My wife and I are strong. We are as strong as we've ever been. All right. And partly is because we are willing to do the work to have a great marriage. We don't want to have a good marriage. We want to have a great marriage. We want to put ourselves in positions where we can talk and get things out in the open and deal with issues from my childhood, deal with issues from her childhood, issues from relationships before we got married, things of just things in our past or whatever, or just working through things in our marriage, communication, different things like that. It's interesting that so many people have such a negative view of marriage counseling, as if it's the only time you go there is when your marriage is in, is when your marriage is in trouble. Like you're about to get divorced. And so as the last final resort, you should go to marriage. No, my wife and I don't even use that word in our house. Like we're strong, we are good. Right. But that's just it. We want to maintain that. And it's interesting that in every other area of our lives, we get coaching. So if marriage counseling is offensive to you, or it's not offensive, but intimidating, if you will, then call it coaching. Because some of you watching this video, you need to be in counseling. Like you need to be in counseling. My wife and I choose to be in counseling, but we don't really need it, but we choose to put ourselves and make ourselves accountable to a counselor. Some of you need to be in counseling, but your pride is, I'm just being honest, as one of your online pastors, your pride is getting in the way, and your spouse has been asking you to get in counseling and you refuse, saying we don't need it. And I pray this is not the downfall for you, but that could be the downfall, is letting your pride get in the way because you don't want to humble yourself and go get somebody else who might be able to help you. So, my wife and I, like I said, we get coaching for everything else. I get a golf coach to try to get better. That ain't helping it. That ain't helping at all. We get coaches for our kids, for soccer, for music, for piano lesson. We get coaches in every financial coach, business coach. We get coaches in everything. But when it comes to marriage, it's like, I'm going to wait until my marriage is about to implode before I get coaching. No, go get some help, work through your issues so you can have a great marriage. And let me just say that one of the things that I struggle with as it relates to marriage, as you all know my story, like my parents got divorced when I was 6, so I never saw a good marriage ever growing up. I saw nothing but bad marriages, and so I never saw an example of a father. Excuse me, I never saw an example of a husband in the home, is what I meant to say. I never saw the example of a husband in the home, how a husband should love his wife, how he should treat her, talk to her, different things like that. So for me, I feel like I'm just still, even after 9 years of marriage, I feel like I'm still learning on the fly. I'm always questioning whether I'm doing enough. I'm always questioning whether I'm a good husband, a great husband, because I don't have a paradigm. I don't have a model to look at and be like, man, my dad, he was a great husband. I love my dad, but I don't have that model in my mind, like a picture of what a great husband in the home looks like and how he treats his wife and how he makes his wife happy. So that's an area that, I'm being honest with you, that I kind of struggle with a little bit. Is I have this voice in my head that kind of tells me that I'm not doing enough. I need to do better. And that's just something I'm working through. So I'm just being honest with you there. Okay. So not just marriage, but family, right? My kids. And this one's a tough one for me. This one's a tough one for me because along those same lines, I never saw a father in the home after 6. Let me be clear. I have a great mother who loves me dearly. I have a great father who loves me dearly. All right. I'm eternally grateful for them. They are great parents. But in terms of seeing a father in the home, how a father interacts with his family, with his kids on a day-to-day basis, I didn't have that. And so once again, I struggle in this area. I'm always wondering and questioning, how do I do this thing? How do I become a good dad? How do I make sure that I'm present? How do I make sure that I'm balancing my work with my family? And how do I create environments where my kids can be comfortable talking to me? And I'm learning all these things as I go. At 48 years old, 9 years in, I'm learning these things because once again, I didn't have that example to look at and be like, man, I want to be just like that whenever I become a dad. I remember my dad taught me this. I remember my dad, when we were in the home, he used to take me everywhere. He used to do this. Now, my dad did some of that. But remember, there's only so much you can do whenever you only see your kids once every 2 weeks or once a week or whatever, simply because you're not in the home, right? And this is not a strike against my dad or my mom. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And this is what happens, guys. When divorce hits your home is that, your kids are going to suffer, right? It's just a byproduct of that. Just accept it. It is what it is. All right. So I struggle with that. And that's an issue that I'm constantly questioning whether I'm doing enough, whether I'm a average dad, a good dad, a great dad. And so I'm kind of working through that. Okay. Financially, and then we'll head to the hardest one is ministry and YouTube. Financially, things are good. Things are stable. Ministry is strong. We're doing well. And so no major updates there, except I do want to say something, and I hope it comes off in the right way. And if it doesn't, please forgive me in advance. But, for the last 9 years, we've worked really, really hard to provide as much free content as we possibly can. We do free webinars. We do, obviously YouTube is free. We do, we have a couple of online courses that are free. We have ebooks that we give away for free. We do a lot of stuff. I'd say about 95% of the stuff that we do is free, but we do have some paid content, right? We have some paid content, and we have courses that we make available for purchase, just like everybody else makes certain things. A lot of other Christians make things available for purchase, whether it's a marriage conference, you got to pay for that. Whether it is a Christian movie, you got to pay for that. You're not walking in the movie theater free, right? They have to pay the actors. They have to recoup some of their money. Christian artists, they don't just give their paintings away for free. Christian schools. You can't just go to a Christian school. You can't even go to a private school for free. You have to pay, right? Seminaries, Bible colleges, a concert, right? If you were go to a, I don't know, like a worship concert, you got to pay. A Christian conference at your church, got to pay. And for whatever reason, you know, when we put a price tag on some of our courses, which to me is, I'm trying to be careful how I say this. You still have people that leave negative and rude comments that are try to question the motives of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I would just ask you to prayerfully reconsider if you're one of those people that leave negative comments about why are you charging for the gospel? Why are you charging money for the gospel? Yeah, well, we don't most of the time. First of all, we don't charge for the gospel. All right. If you want to know the gospel, we'll share that with you free of charge, right? We don't charge for the gospel. But this is a way for us to support our own ministry. All right. It's a way for us to pay for things like equipment, to pay our team the salaries, to make sure that, they have able to put food on their table. So just know that, we are stewarding what God has blessed us with as best we can. But there are things that we do ask people to invest in. And let me just say this. If you are one of the people that see that as being something negative, I would ask you, have you ever considered donating to our ministry to help us reach our goals? We have a lot of big vision. We have a big vision for what we want to do in the future. And we need your help. We need your financial help. And so if you're uncomfortable paying for things, which I understand, but if you're uncomfortable with that, consider helping us out by giving us a donation. We're a nonprofit, right? I seldom, if ever, ask for those types of things, but we could use your help, but we'll move on. All right. I wanted to share that while we're talking about financially. Now, let's move on to the last category, and that's ministry. Ministry. Yeah. Oh boy. So, all in all, I'm pumped. I'm super excited about some aspects of what we're doing. Super excited about the future, the vision. I'm not quite ready to reveal it publicly right now in terms of everything that we're doing, but rest assured that we are working behind the scenes to create some amazing learning opportunities for you that I'm extremely excited about. But as it relates to YouTube, I have my days. If I'm being honest, I have my days where I wonder how much longer I'm going to be on YouTube. I have my days where I say I don't even want to be on YouTube anymore, if I'm being honest. And let me explain why. Let me take you just to my own thought pattern here. When I got on YouTube August 17, 2015, 9 years ago, for the first 5 or 6 years, our channel really grew, and I was able to put out biblical content that was just theologically accurate, biblical content, strong content. And, we grew our ministry exponentially during that time because it felt like there was a group of people that were really, really hungry for biblical truth, theology, apologetics, answering questions about the Bible, about faith. And people were hungry about that. And then along came, a lot of new YouTubers, which I love and respect deeply. But the landscape on YouTube has significantly changed to where what YouTube's algorithm is promoting and preferring now is shocking and negative content, conspiracy theory, or I don't know. I need to be careful here, but it seems to promote that, right? If I can put something that's so shocking out, or if I can just do a reaction video where I'm just sitting behind a chair reacting to something. That seems to be what YouTube is promoting. And it's largely because that seems to be what people are wanting. And so there are days when I get very discouraged because I'm like, God, I am trying my best here to stay true to being a teacher of your word and staying true to the vision that you've given me. But it doesn't seem like enough people on YouTube are even interested in that anymore. They would rather watch. I mean, like, I did a video not too long ago about the Beware of Taylor Swift, and it's got like 400,000 views. Imagine if I did that every week, right? Stuff on Taylor Swift and different people. I mean, yeah, it was a good video and I enjoyed doing it. But for me, I feel like what you and all Christians need to grow spiritually more than anything is solid biblical truth and sound theology. I will be committed to that till the day I die. But unfortunately, nowadays, like, I put out a video and that may or may not get the reach. Now, please don't misunderstand. I'm not doing this just to get views. If I were, I'd be doing Taylor Swift every week. All right. So I know how to do it. I know what to do for the algorithm to get it to blow up because I've done it before. I just don't want to. And there are days, if I'm being honest, where I get very discouraged when I work so hard. My team and I work so hard to put out what we feel like is a great piece of content, and it doesn't perform to the level that we hope it would perform. Now, some of you are like, well, hey man, 60,000 views. You should be happy with that. Yeah, I am happy with that. But my fleshly nature says 1.2 million subscribers and 60,000 views. Man, where's the rest of where's the other 1.15? Did I do the math right? Where's the other 1.1 million people? Right? Like, where are they? Do they not care anymore? So I'm just being honest. I'm just opening up to you about where I am mentally and how I feel about YouTube at this point. Another thing is that I feel sometimes like I'm just burning out. I've got over 900 videos on my channel, and my biggest problem is perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist. And I spend so much time trying to come up with the perfect home run video that I know is going to do really, really well, which is the reason why when it doesn't do as really well, it kind of hurts. I need to get over that. But instead of trying to hit base hits, I'm just hitting I'm trying to hit home runs, and I'm trying to come up with new, fresh content. So I'm not repeating myself and doing the same types of videos all the time. And sometimes that can lead to burnout for me, which, is not good. So it's a catch-22. If I keep going at this pace, I risk being burned out. If I stop and take a break for like 2 months, well, every time I've seen anyone do that on YouTube, YouTube doesn't promote their videos anymore because the algorithm basically forgets you. And when you try to come back and make a comeback, it's like, man, you have to start all over again. So it's kind of a catch-22. If you're a YouTuber, you understand. And then a final point of frustration for me is that, I have this huge vision, but I feel like I'm spending like 70% of my time working on YouTube and the other 30% like doing what I feel like God has called me to do, which is to create outside learning opportunities for people. So that's just kind of where I'm at with all of that. And so I would ask you to pray for me, keep me in your thoughts and prayers in these areas. And I just wanted to kind of come on here and just be real and just let you kind of know what's going on. So when you see me, you'll know like, hey, this is how Brother Allen's doing. All in all, let me just say I'm very thankful and grateful for how God has blessed me, my family, we with a family. But I have some work I need to do, and I'm thankful that the Lord will help me get through it. I love you guys. I know this is a longer video than I had expected when I pressed record, but hopefully you'll be encouraged by it, and pray for me as I pray for you. All right. God bless, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye-bye.